Back to Straight Facts. It's Tuesday. Lee Gunner, Terry Flewers here to talk football, YouTube player beefs, VAR. Arsenal are dangerous, according to Gary Neville, and not on a footballing sense. Loads to go into on the show today. Hit like buttons, subscribe, turn on the bell notifications as well. But Mr. Gunner, how are you, my friend?
Very well, man. Very well. Just watching all these people crying about VAR, and it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace, guys. It's a disgrace. I am embarrassed. I am embarrassed, guys. Okay, mate. We'll get into that in a bit. Yeah, statement being issued. I'm surprised they didn't ask for a replay yet. Do you know what I
mean? mate. It's there's loads to delve into today, and I'm very excited. I've been excited about this show since about 7 o'clock Saturday night. I was like, oh, Lee Gunner on Tuesday is going to be fun after everything.
We've lost twice.
I know, it's true. It's true. Man United have been smashed, and we won a game. Bruno, I can believe it. It's nice. The last few big shows we've done, Man United hasn't really been a talking point. It's been amazing because I like to ignore it a minute. I like being an ostrich with my club right now, burying my head in the sand. It's easier.
That United Fulham game, by the way, was a cure for insomnia.
Bruv, it was awful. It was awful. I wanted to ask you first, though, about last night, because Chelsea end Tottenham's unbeaten run. But I have to say, it was maybe one of the most enthralling, crazy, event-filled games, maybe the most, because of VAR. I've never seen a game like it. 2 blatant red cards not given, 2 additional red cards to the same players gone. Spurs on fire to begin with. They end up losing 4-1, could have been 9-1. High lines on the halfway line with 9 men. Talk to me about last night's game, because Spurs' unbeaten run comes to an end, and they also, to add insult to injury, they lose their best 3 players of the season so far, probably barring Son, for at least for 3 games, if not more, as a collective. Talk to me, Mr. Gunner.
Yeah, Maddison off, Van der Ven done his hamstring, Basuma suspended, 5 bookings, 2 red cards, 21 minutes of stoppage time over 2 halves. That game was crazy. I can't lie. That was probably the most entertaining football match I've watched for a long, long time. And it was great that it weren't my club involved. Like, honestly, yeah, I was just sitting there thinking, like, this lot can't finish their chances. Yeah, the goalkeeper kept running out at any point. I'm thinking, if they just get a toe on one of them, he's getting a red. Or if the player's late, he's getting injured. And, like, mate, it was crazy. Spurs started off really well. Like, first 15, 20 minutes, Son had a goal disallowed. What a finish that was, by the way.
Mate, there was 5 goals disallowed last night. 5.
But you know what? I think they got everything spot on last night. Yeah, like, people are crying about VAR this and VAR that. I actually think they got everything spot on. Maybe the potential red cards before the red cards actually happened. But I think Adogi's one, I'm not convinced that was a red card. He got the ball. It weren't. Yes, his studs were up on his left foot, but it weren't like he went in with a load of force on that. Yeah, like, so I can kind of see why they didn't give a red on that. The Romero one, it would have been soft, but how many times have you seen a player lash out at someone and get sent off? So I don't know. I can kind of see why he didn't go off for that, but that guy was playing like a man possessed anyway. It was only a matter of time before he was getting a red card anyway.
His performance, just on him, Romero is one of the dumbest performances I've ever seen in my life. Your team's on fire. At that point, because you were 1-0 up, you're top of the league, Chelsea looked like a rabbit in headlights. The shape was all over the place. There was no need for any of that behavior from Romero. Even his tackle that he got sent off for, you don't need to be that excessive. And we know in the 80s and the 90s, that's not a red card. But for the past 15 or so years, you win the ball, but follow through that high on a shin with your studs, more likely than not, you're going to go. I couldn't believe what I saw from Romero as an experienced World Cup winning centre-back to drop a ridiculously aggressive performance like that.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. It was funny to witness, though. Me and Henry Wright had a bet that he now has to do the 1-chip challenge. And he had a bet with somebody else last night, and he lost that one because he said Chelsea wouldn't get anything. So now he has to do it in an Arsenal shirt.
No.
He never learns. He said Spurs Arsenal would lose a home game before Spurs.
Oh,
yeah, that went well, didn't it? And the funniest thing is,
like you
said at the start, that could have been 9-1. But that ain't even exaggerating. 9-1. The amount of times they got clean through, Cucurella clean through. Some of the passes, Mudryk had one, and Jackson put it over the bar. Like some of the passes just didn't have enough weight on them. Right, otherwise they could have literally had 9. That ain't even
what,
it's weird.
What did you make? What did you make of the high line with 10 men and 9 men approach? Because a lot of people in the media pundits, Sky Sports, are praising it as brave, innovative, game changing.
Of course they are. They have to have one that they gas up every year. Last year it was De Zerbi. Now he's fallen off a cliff. This year it's Ange. Yeah, every year they have to have a hipster, didn't they? Yeah, like I said, when he got that job, I said he'll do all right, and they'll batter a couple of teams, but they'll get battered a few times. I've watched enough of Celtic over the last few years. Like, my mates are at the game tonight in Madrid to watch Celtic, so I've seen enough of Celtic over the last 4 years to know that they will get battered a couple of times with the way he plays. Yeah, I didn't expect it to be Chelsea, to be honest. But again, Chelsea have created a lot of chances this season and just ain't buried them, and I can see why. Yeah, they haven't got a competent winger that can deliver a proper pass. Yeah, Cole Palmer played all right. Yeah, I thought Sterling was probably their best player until they moved him out onto the right wing. Didn't really affect the game out there. I know he set a goal up and that, but I thought that on the left wing, he was getting in time after time after time down the left, and they switched him and put Mudryk on him. Oh my days, that guy ain't a footballer, mate. Yeah,
I think we talked about Sava came on the show last night after the game, and he was talking a lot of sense. And I was thinking back to a lot of games Spurs have had this year. Palace, Luton in the second half, Man United. The Man United game is really an interesting one. We for the first 45 minutes, we should have gone in at halftime 3-0 up. If we finished that dinner and got the penalty, we're 3-0 up. There's been a number of teams that have opened up Spurs in periods in games. Spurs have also been good in periods in games, and I think they've been valued for being top of the league. They've been one of the best teams in the league this year. But I do think Spurs fans have been gaslit. They've been gaslit into believing that they were playing at an invincible level where they were barely being penetrated, and they were consistently nearly scoring. It has been a little bit Bielsa-esque. I think better, because I was never a fan of Bielsa. I thought he was one of the most overrated managers. At least with De Zerbi and these guys, they were punching above their weight in terms of league position. But De Zerbi was near the relegation zone, and everyone was saying he's an amazing manager. It made no sense to me, and I think Big Andrew's potentially better than that. But the way I saw it being, I got dragged in. I was enjoying the game at home last night, but it was enjoyable because it was weird. And every time Chelsea didn't score when it was 1-1, I kind of cheered for Tottenham because I thought this will be hilarious.
I was doing it the other way around. I was like, this, come on, you need to score, man. Please score. Like, come on. Yeah, just score. But eventually you can't keep playing with 9 men and playing on the halfway line with players that are rapid running off the back of you, and you're just standing watching. Eventually you will get caught. Right. And we did it against you at Old Trafford last season. Now, I know we had 11 against 11, but you can't keep playing high line when you've got wingers that are rapid, Sterling, Mudryk, players like that. Yeah, Jackson's not the quickest, but no, if that was, let's say if that was Sterling running clean through on the Cucurella chance, that's in the back of the net. Yeah, and I don't really rate Sterling that highly. None of the big chances like that, the one-on-one chances, fell to Sterling. Yeah, and it was so jarring watching it because I was like, just score against this stuff, for God's sake. But the capitulation was hilarious, I can't lie. And you got all their fans coming out the ground going, we were proud. We fought till the end. Like even Tottenham tweeted it with the little hand emoji that's cupping into a heart. We fought till the end. Well, you're supposed to fight to the end. Yeah, this lot are so in their feelings, man. I've seen a couple of TalkSport clips where their fans are going, oh, VAR disgrace, it robbed us. Well, what did you watch, mate?
Bro, I've been honest with you. The only thing I've disagreed with you've said so far is I felt that Udoji's was a red. He didn't make contact with a player, but it was... I don't know when this rule changed, but it was 2-footed. It was down. I think he should have gone personally. It wasn't a hard kick from Romero, but you can't kick out or strike people in the face. I thought they were very lucky to still have both players on the pitch. Maybe one, because they can often, sometimes referees are a little bit more lenient when one player's already been sent off, but they were lucky in that regard.
I would probably have said that Doji's tackle would have wanted a red more than Romero's.
I agree. But the biggest controversy...
But then the two that ended up... Sorry. It's the same people. It's like, don't you learn?
Mate, it's crazy. The manager didn't take off.
How are you going into a tackle in the penalty box, that rough and tough, right? And then you'll follow through it. And it was a standing leg as well.
Well, do you know what's funny about it? I've had a lot of people say to me, well, what's he meant to do, Terry? Like, he didn't mean to catch his leg. I'm like, see, this is where people don't understand not just the law, but why the law's in place. What Romero's meant to do in that situation is not make the tackle. If you can't tackle somebody without excessive force, you're not meant to make the tackle. The reason that he had to tackle him that hard is because of the distance proximity, and he would have been beaten. So if he doesn't go in with that much power, he can't get to the ball first. But that much power is excessive force, which then makes it dangerous because he could have snapped his leg in half. And that's the one thing I say about football fans. It shouldn't take someone's leg breaking to go, that was a bad tackle. It's like the Udogie one. I don't think he even needs to make contact for it to be a red. It's the fact that if he does make contact, all your weight's going through Sterling's leg. It's gone. But the biggest mistake VAR made yesterday, I say mistake, I can understand why it's offside, but inconsistency has not been discussed. It was the offside of Jackson for the Caicedo strike. And I'll tell you as to why. Because we have seen many goals this season where players have been in the goalkeeper's eye line when shots have happened and offside's not even been checked. But then last night, there's that much distance and suddenly they're saying that's offside. That, for me, was one of the most controversial moments of the night. But because there was a red card that followed and a penalty and a goal, it's been brushed under the carpet.
I mean, look how tight that offside is, by the way.
Yeah, look how tight that is. And you know what's really funny about this one? People have sent me pictures because when this ball was struck, Onana actually can see where the player is. But the irony in it is that he has to move his position out the way of the guy that's offside to see, and then the ball goes exactly where he was standing. So if the player wasn't standing there
anyway, Terry, let's just
no, maybe not. It was awful back then. But you get my point. For Spurs to complain about VAR when I felt that up until that red card of Romero, they were catching life. Both the red cards they eventually got were red cards. Udogie's booked, and then he makes that stupid tackle. But he only makes that tackle because Big Ange is exploiting them. And I get why they're proud of the players that stayed on the pitch because they fought hard. But they should be fuming with Big Ange. They should be fuming with Romero.
Yeah, they should be fighting hard. Oh, we fought till the end. We're proud of our team. Absolute wasters. No wonder that club ain't won nothing for 16 years. The only person who's sitting there smiling, laughing his nuts off, is Daniel Levy yet again. They're all coming out the stadium crying to TalkSport. Oh, we're robbed. Oh, we're proud of our team. These idiots, man. I swear, absolutely shambolic. Yeah, and they should have been sat there kicking off about their manager playing a high line. But they don't want to do that. Yeah, because, we're just enjoying the vibes in the stadium. We all stayed till the end. You're supposed to stay to the end. Come on.
Yeah.
What's going on here? Then you got their goalkeeper saying, the fans stayed until the 94th or 98th minute. They clapped us. Like, no wonder they've signed these people. They're serial losers, mate. A lot of them. Yeah, they might look good here and there. They ain't winning nothing. I've said it all season. They'll play pretty football here and there. They'll pop a few teams and they'll get popped a few times.
Do you think they'll full on collapse now that
they're in trouble now? Because their next 3 games are not easy. I think they've got Wolves, Villa, and City. No Maddison. Yeah, that hamstring on Van der Ven looks like that's going to be at least 6 weeks. Yeah, he was running full pelt when he did that. Yeah, and he could barely walk. Yeah, so that looks like it's a harsh one. Yeah, and then Basuma's out for 1, Romero's out for 3, and Udogie's out for 1. Yeah, to be fair, I thought Dyer, mate, what a goal that would have been, by the way.
By the way, but I will say this. Someone has showed me a super slow-mo of the header. It didn't come off the Spurs player's head. It comes off Thiago Silva.
Maybe they were all right coming out the stadium then. VAR robbed us. Maybe they did get robbed.
Someone actually sent it to me. I'll try it. It's hard to play because obviously sometimes I wish we could just play if they let you play up to a minute of Premier League footage without being copyrighted. It would make content just that little bit easier, if that makes sense.
You can't on YouTube. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, but bro, honestly, this video clip, legit. I'm looking at it again now. I'll send it to you. But you can just tell, by the way, with when it goes past Bentancur's head, it doesn't go up off his head. It goes past his head and then goes back behind him where Thiago's and then goes up in the air. But that's super slow-mo. But I say there was one funny, but with Vicky van der Ven out, they're in trouble. But it was a funny moment from last night. Again, I love this stuff. You might have seen this already, Pil, but Lee, take a little listen to this to X. This is amazing.
Blood. What about this brother that you were telling me? You said we don't need Osimhen. We got Nicholas Jackson, fam. Bro, there's more chance of Michael Jackson scoring a hat-trick than him, blood. You know, them way there. He's a scrub as well, blood. Waxing. You know what I mean? I ain't scared of him. Bro, you know what makes me...
It's the whole...
He's had a shocker with that, isn't he?
Oh, do you know, I love X, but you know...
Hey, what are the odds on him turning up and scoring that trick?
I know. Someone sent that to me and said, brother, you got to look at this. And you know, sometimes you just laugh and you just keep... I laughed probably for 5 minutes straight, just laughing, thinking to myself... not only did like the Michael Jackson's got more chance of getting a hat-trick, the man actually got a hat-trick after having 3 of the worst misses of the season, still got a hat-trick.
Could have had, that header. He should have buried the header. He had another one. He had a goal disallowed. Like, it's funny. Somebody put in my comments where I did a watch-along for that game last night. I'm buzzing I picked that game though, I can't lie. Yeah, hopefully Atleti Celtic put on a show tonight. Yeah, but when I was doing that, somebody put in, if only he'd buried a couple of them chances, it could have been Jackson 5. The headlines would have been written.
Yeah, that was a great headline.
No, that was a crazy game, man. But let's be real, Chelsea deserved to win. Yeah, but they're a poor team in terms of chance, like finishing their chances. They need a winger that has a bit of subtlety on the ball. Yeah, like the amount of times they put that ball down the wing or over the top and it had a bit too much or a bit too less on it. If they can get a quality winger and go and get somebody that can bag goals, then they'll fly up the table. And it's not just off of that game. They've created a lot of chances in the games I've seen them this season. And that Jackson just miss after miss, Mudryk miss after miss, Sterling's missed a few. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, and then you look at Tottenham and you think, right, okay, cool. You've got a great starting 11. It looks all right on paper, doesn't it? Well, now you've got 5 of them for the next game. Yeah, and some of them for the next 3 or 4 or 5. So, yeah, they're kind of... The gap between them two will go like that real soon. Yeah,
look, Spurs. I still think Spurs can make the top 4. It just depends how long the Maddison and Van der Ven injuries are. I mean, if
I'd have a guess. I'd say Van der Ven will be out for about 2 to 3 months.
Yeah,
because the way he did that, like, and I'll be honest, I started chuckling at the time because I thought, oh yeah, he's just falling over, wasting time or something. Yeah, but then when I see it in the replay, I was like, wow, that actually looks nasty. Because when you're, I don't know if you've ever done a hamstring, but when I've not done it to a bad level, but even walking up the stairs now, I pull a hamstring. Do you know what I mean?
Rob, do you know what? I've never actually done it doing sport. I haven't done it since I've been older. When I was about 16, my little brother said something to me in the school playground and wound me up. So I ran after him and I was halfway through running and it went and I had this pain and it made me trip up. Like my leg went all up in the air like I was a scorpion and I felt it was crazy. I couldn't put it down. The pain was mad. He
did that running and he's quick, that defender.
Oh, yeah, that's gone. That's completely gone.
Yeah, that's a bad one, mate. I don't know how serious. I don't know if they've come out and mentioned anything about it today, but I'd imagine he'd be out for about 2, 3, 4 months. Because I thought, fair enough, he's done his hamstring, that'll be a little 2 to 4 weeker. Yeah, but then when I see the replay, I was like, wow, yeah, that don't look good. Yeah, and he's been brilliant for them so far.
Yeah, he's been great. He's been great. Jimmy here is very right in what he says. He went, after Son's goal was offside, Chelsea could have scored 2 and were dominating. False narrative that red cards are the only reason Chelsea
Sterling
came back.
was getting in down that left every time. Every time. Yeah, and it was almost like they were told, like Spurs were told, don't, like, just let him have the ball down the wing. It was almost like that was the game plan. And then after they went down to the 9, it was like, just sit on the halfway line, just keep letting them do it. What's going on here?
It was very strange.
That was schoolboy tactics right there, man. Like, and the thing is, he obviously didn't study Chelsea because Chelsea struggle against a low block. Like, any teams that go and have a go at Chelsea, they'll score against. Yeah, when they're camping on the edge of the box, Chelsea can't break you down. So why is he doing that? And I've seen Spurs fans saying, oh, but it nearly worked. Yeah, you nearly won a trophy, mate. Oh, but it didn't happen though, did it? Like, you've nearly won something a few times. It nearly worked. But don't worry, we fought till the end. But I'm proud of the team. Absolute wasters. Honestly, wasters. Yeah, and the audacity of Tottenham doing that. And this is why I kick off about modern football, Terry. Arsenal and Tottenham do exactly the same. Yeah, exactly the same. But we fought till the end. Yeah, or our cup run our Carabao Cup run came to an end. What do you mean cup run? We went 1 round. Like, come on. Yeah, it's like, oh, but bigger fish to fry. And like, nah, man, come on, get out of here. Yeah, what do you mean? You got slapped at home by Chelsea. There's no way of dressing that up. You got battered. Yeah, and it could have been nearly double digits if they'd finished their chances.
It's certainly, excuse me. could have been. This year says, love the Terrace, and as always, great to see Lee spitting facts. Lee, my life, we need a striker and some more players in midfield. Hope you're both well. We'll come to Arsenal a little bit later on the show. Top man Paul. Joshua here says, firstly, that was Copa Libertadores game, but Terry's stream yesterday was also chaos with Spurs versus everybody. Then Spurs praising Big Ange, kamikaze ball. Then it was young Daniel. Yeah, my match reaction lasted just over 2 hours yesterday. And we had, I've got to say as well, one of the biggest ever. We got up the map. We had just over 13,000 people tuning in to listen to it. It was crazy. But I couldn't. And my community is so good. There was a point where I said, guys, we've got to stop talking. We've got like 55 super chats. I did about 20 of them. And then I looked, and there was 67. I was like, I can't get through them. There was more. They were adding them in. It was amazing. So I was getting to. I was like, this as well near the end, and I was like, I really got to go. Joshua here says, okay, already done that one. Shamelessly gonna celebrating Chelsea's goals. They celebrate together, sell each other's players. Chelsea and Arsenal are not rivals but friends.
The only reason I celebrated their goals, right, was because of that bet I had with Henry. Yeah, because I was like, if this lot hold on for a draw here, they ain't going to lose in their next few games at home. Whereas we might. You never know, do you? So it was like, that was the best opportunity. And the funniest thing is, he was at the game. He phoned me up, yeah, as he's on the phone to me while the game's going on. I've got like 1,100 people, whatever, watching. Yeah, and all you heard was, oh, for God's sake, they're in again here. And then all you heard was the Chelsea fans cheering, like 3-1, 4-1, whatever it was. Absolute melt. Mate, stop wasting your money going to watch them, Henry.
Anton, though, this is generally on my stream last night. This was true, barring Salah and Kate and Alan. But like a lot of the things I've seen, Chelsea were angry at a 4-1 win where Spurs were happy losing last night. Do you think that says a lot about the standards of the fan bases?
Yep. Although saying that, Chelsea's fan base has fallen off a cliff this season. And, well, since Bowley's got there. There's a lot that still have standards, but there's a lot that are just laughing at, oh, let's get 40 points. Right. But, yeah, that does tell the difference, doesn't it? But we fought till the end. We're super proud of the team. Yeah, and then you got Chelsea fans screwing. They scored 4 against Tottenham at Tottenham to stop them going back top of the league. Levels, mate, levels.
No, I hear you on that. This here from I can't pronounce that name. Feichel. I think Feichel, maybe. I don't know. Kylie, I'm proper dumb. It says here, what are your thoughts on Anthony Taylor being rewarded for making mistakes in recent weeks by refereeing City versus Chelsea's game?
Couldn't care less.
I want to say
I genuinely couldn't. He was refereeing Preston Coventry at the weekend and gave a penalty for absolutely nothing.
I know, and now he's got the biggest game of the weekend. It's
yeah, honestly... but to be fair, Terry, I'm sick and tired of hearing fans crying about refs and VAR. Yeah,
why?
And this is the reason. I'll tell you why. Yeah. The reason being is everyone goes, oh, but it's a conspiracy against my team. They don't want Arsenal to win. They don't want Tottenham to win, or whoever it may be, Liverpool. But this happens every single week. So if it's happening every single week, how can it be an agenda against one team? Because it's not your team getting it every week. It's every team getting it. So just stop moaning about it.
We are gonna get onto that later when we get to Arsenal, I'm sure, based on what's gone on. I agree with you, though, that this isn't about trying to damage Arsenal or Man United or Liverpool. I do have a different. I do want to have a different. I have a different conspiracy theory, though, which we'll get into later. I want to get your opinion on it. Listen,
it's not land on the moon, Terry, or is the Earth flat?
No, but I think lizards are doing it. I think lizards are doing it, bruv. Speaking of crazy stuff on the internet, did you see Mark Goldbridge and Rashford's little beef? The United stand and Goldbridge and these.
Yeah, what an insecure footballer earning 400 grand a week, sitting on the internet crying about Goldbridge. I get life, mate. Like, honestly, like seriously, what is his problem? Yeah, he should go back into training and ask for extra hours. No, like when you're like, oh yeah, I'm not doing very well in maths class. Can I have an extra hour with you, Miss or Mr. So and so, whatever, so we can go through a few things? He needs to go and practice his shooting. Yeah, instead of crying about a fan channel, get in the bin. Yeah, get in the bin. And do you know what's funny is I don't even watch Goldbridge, yeah, but I went to that stream and I watched the lad Faz, I think his name was.
Yeah.
What did he say that was so bad? He was giving his opinion about a player that has fallen off the cliff since last season. He said, how can a player go 40 GA last season into a player we're witnessing now? Does he even want to be here? Yeah. Was he even injured? Yeah. Why would a player be injured and then travel all the way down to London, West London, from Manchester to sit in the crowd? It's valid things to say. What's wrong with that? And then Rashford started making a storm out of it, going, oh, please stop spreading malicious rumours. What rumour, mate? It's the guy's opinion. If you're so butthurt about it, just stay off the internet. But he can't, can he? Because he wants to get everyone on his side because he's having a poor performance. There's a lot of people that don't like that particular channel. So now he's got them all on side. He's got every single one of them in the pocket now. So he can have another shitter this weekend. And it's cool. Doesn't matter because he's now gained another few 100,000 or 500,000 fans.
I agree. Like, people are going, oh, it's a clickbait title. How's a question clickbait if that's someone's opinion?
Yeah, the question mark in it.
Exactly. And this is the thing. People, generally speaking, in my view, people call titles clickbait when they don't want the subject matter to be discussed. So, for instance, let's take the transfers. Say there's a story in The Athletic that Chelsea might hijack a move for an Arsenal player, and YouTubers do a video saying Chelsea to hijack Arsenal with a question mark. You get clickbait, clickbait, clickbait. No, it isn't clickbait. It's a genuine story that we should discuss as fans. You're calling it clickbait to try and discredit the conversation because you hope it isn't true. It isn't clickbait. Clickbait would be, United says, clickbait would be exclusive footage of Rashford
parking on the yellow line.
Or attacking Ten Hag, and then it's all a lie. That's what clickbait is for me, where your title has nothing to do with the video. If your title is Rashford's future in doubt with a question mark, and Faz is presenting his view as to why he might be. And it, by the way, it is not wrong for fans to sit there and say, right, we know because of ill discipline, especially the top Reds who back Ten Hag and back Rashford. So this is in their mind here. You lot will say, well, Sancho's out the team because of ill discipline. So why is it inconceivable that Rashford may have been dropped for a game because of poor discipline? When you consider his form, the party he went out for on his birthday, the fact that maybe he got questioned by the manager, and fans are allowed to ask a question.
When's a footballer been able to be into a position to tell a fan what he can and can't say? How about jog on? No,
exactly. And for me, this is the way I look at it, right? It is very much, you don't have to like Mark Goldbridge to support if you're in the fan channel community, I support it. Unless they do something wrong, and then I'll call it out. But Faz having an opinion or talking through what he's hearing from people on social media, I'm seeing a lot of fans say X, a lot of fans saying Y. Him having a discussion about that is not spreading malicious rumors. As far as I heard, at no point did he say, I spoke to my mate in the pub and he walks Rashford's dog. Turns out Rashford's been partying every night of the week. Then I can understand, say, well, that's a malicious rumor. There's no, you haven't corroborated that. It was literally an opinion piece. If, a Chelsea fan phones into the show.
Kind of his own context as to why he's got to that thought process. What's wrong with that? Since when's Rashford the owner of fan opinion? Yeah, he's lucky he's even playing football at Man United. Yeah, because he's absolutely robbing a living, the guy. He's got such good PR around him. Yeah, like the guy's a clown anyway. Like, honestly, mate, some of the stuff I've seen, he's driving down the wrong way, down a road, and like all the parking on that pavement, and the guy going Rashford, how did he even get that McLaren up the curb, by the way? So, did you see that video? I didn't even get that up the curb.
It must have been a drop curve further back, and he went up it. But I agree. Look, I look at it this way. Everyone knows I like Rashford, and I want him to turn it round. And me and you have a very different opinion on Rashford. I'm someone that's always backed him, but on this particular circumstance, I think that he or him and his PR team are wrong. Fans are allowed to have opinions. Fans are allowed to ask questions. Fans can also react to, listen, if the Daily Mail writes a story that turns out not to be true, and this is this is the irony of it. In the summer, multiple verified journalists said that Maguire didn't go to West Ham because he refused a pay cut. Then Maguire, lots of Man United fan channels, then turned around and were angry at him because they wanted him gone so they could raise money and buy somebody in their eyes better. Then when Maguire says, actually, that never happened, the deal was never agreed between the clubs, it's the fan channels that the top Reds attack, and the same media outlets that said that it was Maguire attack the fan channels And people like Mark Goldbridge forgetting, well, you spread hate about him. No, I reacted to your fucking story about him. It's legitimate.
And then Maguire sits in an interview, a Man United interview, I think, for a Champions League game. And I think it was a Champions League, maybe it was an England match. I don't know. But he was in a press conference this season and said, yeah, we were looking at West Ham, but we just couldn't quite get the deal done. So the story was true then. Yeah, you couldn't get the deal done because you didn't want to take the 90k pay cut. So the story was right then. But you're right what they do. Listen, TalkSport started doing watch-alongs this season, Terry.
Look,
do you know what I'm saying? They copy everything that fan channels do, and then they have a go at fan channels after they're doing.
And this is one of my biggest issues. I get more annoyed at fan channels fighting each other, and I know that I have history of this. In fact, me and Mark years ago did the same thing. You know, all of us at times have disagreements with each other. But the reason why we actually need to pull together more often, and it frustrates me when we don't, is that the whole of the mainstream media wants us gone. And there's a big percentage of football fans who don't want us around. We shouldn't be fighting one another. And that's all I see. Every time something like this happens, there's like an attack on. Do you remember when I think Xhaka did an interview about how he suffered abuse from fans, and it was like AFTV that was targeted for it. And I just thought to myself, that's just out of order. Remember Bellerin, and I know you don't get on with the AFTV people per se. Like I know you've had issues with Robbie, but when Bellerin was basically saying that they only profit off of losses, and you get accused of that. That's nonsense, because this year, based on that logic, this year,
Bellerin in the bin real quick, mate. Zoolander.
Exactly. I just don't like that sort of thing. And and
what is it with Arsenal fullbacks? Zinchenko's another one, isn't it? Like, what's the matter with these losers?
Yeah, no, I don't like it at all. I've never seen Goldbridge in a United shirt before 2016, but that's untrue. So he posted a picture years back. And this would have been, you could tell by the grainy nature of the photo, this would have been early 90s. And he was in a Man United kit from the early 90s. I saw that picture of him. So, again, have you been to his house and asked his mum to look at his photo album? If you haven't, and by the way, loads of YouTubers get accused of it. Rance gets accused of being a Spurs fan from when he grew up, as an example. You do.
I know that. I watched them last night. Now I'm a Chelsea fan. Do you know what I mean?
I remember Man United fans accusing Saeed of never being a proper Man United fan, and Aaron. They only started going to games to do fan cams, and they weren't ever fans before that interested. Of course, I've been accused of being a glory hunter. I'm from London. You're an
Arsenal fan, tell.
Most quality YouTube, yeah, exactly. Most quality YouTubers that I've ever come across, at one stage or another, have been accused of supporting another team, and it's a deflection tactic to move away for two reasons. One, they're jealous of how successful somebody has become, or two, they're annoyed that their opinions are not being listened to by as many people as somebody else. And those are typically the two reasons why YouTubers, fan content creators get attacked. And look, I love Rashford to bits. I want him to turn his form around, but I just think he's wrong on this one. If you hate the United stand, you're going to say that he's right. But in reality, saying that what you're saying is fans are not allowed to have opinions. Same as Paul Parker said a few weeks ago, like Mark Goldbridge basically shouldn't have a platform as big as he is. He never played the game professionally, so therefore he shouldn't have an opinion. It doesn't. I think you've got to ignore what you think about Mark and go, well, if I apply that logic universally, that means I've got to get rid of my channel. Fuck you. Do you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy. Genuinely crazy.
Rashford should concentrate on getting his performance level up, mate. That's all he's got to do. And that just shows how he watches everything that happens. Yeah, because he's literally sat there about half hour after that video went out, posting that tweet. So he's seen that video pop up on YouTube. So he's obviously active on YouTube, isn't he? Yeah. And then he's gone to Twitter, or he's active on Twitter maybe, and seen the tweet come up. Yeah. But we know how algorithms work, Terry. Yeah. If you go and watch your own goals highlights, on Sky Sports on your phone, you've now watched the football content. Now that I pop up with the next video, and it might be United stand. It might be your channel. It might be my channel. It might be AFTV. It could be Saeed, Rance, anyone. Yeah, so then they go, let me click that one then. Now, every time they open YouTube, all of a sudden they're getting all of them pop up. Yeah, and there's some of these players are so out of touch. It's crazy. Like, honestly, just shut up and get on with football, mate. Yeah, they love all the adulation when it goes for them, but then they don't like a bit of criticism here and there. Yeah, get on with it. Yeah, we get criticised every single day. We ain't nicking 350, 400 grand a week, are we? Well, I don't know about you two. I ain't.
No, not quite. I wish. Tony here says you're acting like footballers can't go on their phones, and nobody's saying that. Again, you're taking an opinion, which is he should be focusing more on his football and getting better, and taking it to the nth degree that footballers can't go on their phones. What we're stating is that he is not, in my opinion, he's either not watched or digested what the video was about. He has said something that isn't true. There was no malicious rumor within the video whatsoever. It was not a clickbait title. Asking a question is not clickbait if the content is an echo of that. And it's the question. It's a debate. And so all we're saying is that Rashford shouldn't have done what he did in this instance. Nobody has stated at any point Rashford should have his phone confiscated and shouldn't be allowed on the internet. Again, we don't need to go to those extremities. Nobody has said footballers can't have phones. So again, it's crazy. It's like people. But personally, I didn't have a problem with Rashford going out for his birthday. The only element I didn't think was right is that he had training in the Monday morning, which is around 8, 9 o'clock, and he was still out at 3:30 a.m. And what I mean by that is, I don't think that's right, generally speaking, for anyone in any profession. If you've got to be at work at 8 o'clock in the morning and you're still out at a nightclub at 3:30, then even if you're not drinking, you are not performing the next day at optimum level because you're tired. And that is a
tell and just roll in straight away.
And that's pretty much a scientific fact. You only have 3 or 4 hours sleep after being up all day, playing a game of football or working all day, then you go out all night. You're not going to be at your best the very next day. And I think that when you're in a job that pays to the level of a footballer, I think if you're in a powerful or an important job in this world, I think all of those jobs especially should be taken very seriously what you put into it. Him actually going out with friends and that, I don't care whether footballers are allowed to go out for dinner, parties, celebrate things when they lose football matches. They absolutely are. This nonsense that they're not is crazy. But staying out till 3:34 in the morning when you're not in great form, when you should be at home resting, sleeping,
do you know what I don't understand?
That's what I disagree with.
Fair enough, they can go out, right? And I get why people are peed off with it. He just got battered by Man City and he had training the next day. But when you've got that level of money, why don't you just get a load of chefs to come to your house? Get all your mates around and have a house party. That way nobody knows, do they?
Yeah.
But he can go out, he can do what he wants. He's an adult, he can do whatever he wants, Terry, yeah? But when you're not playing well and your team have just been battered again and you have training the next day, people are going to spot you. You're out and about in a public spot. Don't just get a load of private chefs to come to your house. Yeah, get a DJ to come to your house. Yeah, and get all your mates around and just have a party at home. You go to bed whenever you want. Don't have to get a taxi back. Nobody's going to see you out. Yeah, and all the people that are there, you trust, they're your mates.
Someone here said it was a surprise party, but it wasn't a surprise party because the article that spoke about it also said that it was a pre-arranged and pre-agreed. So how can it be pre-arranged and pre-agreed, but equally be a surprise?
Well, maybe it was a surprise to him. Maybe it was pre-arranged. With
yeah, I can kind of get that. But at the same time, you've got to use your head and go, look, we got battered today. Because this is also what they were meant to have Monday off training, but they were told they had to come in after the defeat. So once you get told that, you change your approach. Look, as I say, go out and have a party. Go out and see your friends. Go and have a good time. But you've got training in the morning, so get to bed at a sensible hour. And I have that thought and feeling, you know, I was like that when I was a young man still living with my parents. If I worked the next day, my dad see me getting ready to go out. You going out? I go, yeah, going down the pub with the boys for a bit. You got work tomorrow? Yeah. Well, don't be too late. You got to get up. And that was my dad talking to me as an 18, 19-year-old because my dad felt it was important that I got a good night's sleep. So I woke up and so I went to work and had a good day and being productive for my employer. And that was pumped into me as a kid. You don't turn up and what's the word I'm looking for? Not scrounge. We skive all day because you're a hangover, you're exhausted. It was one of them things. I'd get in, literally, my dad would tell me off as a grown-up if I ever got caught doing that kind of thing. So maybe it's just the way I was brought up and the way I look at things. That's why I disagree with Rashford doing it. But the idea of him going out or going on Twitter, that don't bother me. But get your facts right if you're going to do it.
And as for that comment from Twisted, big up Twisted in the chat. Clubs don't own players. It's not slavery. They actually do own the players, mate. They're contracted to the football club to turn up for set hours, club events, and everything that the club tell them to do, they have to do. So they do technically.
I mean, look, again, let's just delve into this here, Twisted. Again, you are equating, and this is what you're doing here is both overly hyperbolic and also very disrespectful to people that still today in 2023 suffer at the hands of slavery.
On that bombshell, I'm going for a toilet break.
Yeah, nobody is sitting here Twisted and saying that players can't go out with friends and family or can't have their phones. What we're saying is that if you're staying out till 3 or 4 in the morning and in 2 or 3 hours time you've got to get up to go training, you're going to be exhausted and you may not be able to put in the energy and the effort that's required for you to train to your optimum level. asking for people to be professional is not equal to slavery. Come on now, my friend. Just saying things like that is I like you, Twisted, but that is an absolute joke of a comment. A joke of a comment. I don't own KJ, but he has to come to work on time. And if it turns out he's been going out late lots and lots and he's not performing the next day because he just wants to be in bed, he's going to get in trouble. That's not me behaving like a slave master. That's me being an employer and wanting a good day's work for a good day's pay. Come on now, don't conflate those two things. That's embarrassing, bro. That is legitimately one of the most embarrassing things I've ever heard anybody say. Come on now. I know you try to be a little bit of a, controversial, but that is just so wide of the mark. It's unbelievable, bro. Unbelievable. Terry, leave Rashford alone. I love Rashford. I want Rashford to be a success. Part of the reason why I don't want him staying out too late. I want him to get a good night's sleep, good rest. I don't think I would. My advice, if I was talking to him, is stay away from socials. Don't let stuff get into your head. Try and get your confidence back. So, again, I'm not saying any of this to be nasty to him. I want him to do his best. And if right now you're not performing, you have to look at whatever lifestyle choices you've got and what can you change. And that's my advice to anyone in any walk of life, in any profession. If you're struggling and things are going wrong, look at the things you're doing outside of work, diet, gym, time you go to bed, the friends you hang around with. Maybe some of them have got to go. Maybe it's time to move on from some of those individuals because you being a success is important. Very important. Especially if you're in an important job. So there we go. But yeah, that's one of the craziest things I've ever heard anyone ask, Twisted Bubba. Let's have a little look at some more. So I'm waffling. So, okay, cool. That's not an answer, is it? That's not an argument saying someone's waffling. That's code for shit, Terry's right, but I don't want him to be. Come on now, my friend. That's not a breakdown. Lee, Terry is telling you that you're always late for the terrace.
I was here before him today.
He was actually, to be fair. I was in the middle of something. There we go. I know you're only joking, my bro. I know you were. Sir Alex Ferguson won't let Rashford even leave his home to meet his girlfriend after 12 a.m. Yeah, Fergie had spies in every nightclub and bar in Manchester that report stuff into him. That man had that city on locked. Man was moving around like Tony Soprano up there, bruv. He had the whole city on lockdown. He really is. What is this? Terry, you bum. I still want my City Bournemouth reaction. Yeah, I didn't do one Saturday afternoon. I told you all why. I wasn't very well, and I had to go to I'm fine. I had to go to the pharmacy and get some medication. And I waited in there ages. It was a long old queue, and I couldn't get back in time. You wouldn't want me doing a match reaction to a game that I had not watched. That'd be a very strange thing to do, wouldn't it? But
believe it or not, there are people out there that do that.
Bro, I did it once years ago. I did it once when I was this is purely a hobby. Never thought it'd be a job. I was one Saturday where what I said, this is what some people do, and I did it with I said to Adam Charles I was doing it. And we just read 3 or 4 tweets that had some good traction. And it was like when we used to do 5-minute match reviews. And then I just basically like elaborated on those 5 tweets. And people were like, oh, yeah, you were bang on, I went, that's how mad it is. Just repeat what someone, because I know someone else used to do that with fan cams at Arsenal. They would read what Twitter was saying and trending. And they would listen to what other fan cameras said. And then they would just basically repeat it. And it was a little bit of a test to see whether that theory would work. And it does. But I made
a transfer story up once many years ago. And Donny van der Beek to Arsenal, right? I literally sat there. I couldn't find any Arsenal transfer news at all. I thought I'll just make it up then. Yeah, just see test the water. I swear, I went to bed. That video was coming out 7 a.m. By midday, the whole mainstream media run with it.
but you know what, mad? Back like when YouTube first started, when all the mainstream wasn't on YouTube. That seemed to happen quite a lot. It's very strange. Twisted's back again here with a different flavor. He says, basically saying, can we agree then on dictatorship? No. Being employed and following the rules and regulations of your employer, typically speaking in the UK, does not equal dictatorship because you don't have to do it, but you won't get the money. I don't dictate to any of my. I don't rule over my members of staff and make them do everything I want them to do. They have a job description. They do what's in the job description that they agree to, and they get paid. It's labor for pay. You know, I pay them a good salary to complete these jobs. That's not what a dictatorship is. So again, you're using very extreme words that are usually connected to exceedingly evil people, and you're trying to equate it for asking footballers to turn up to training on time and have a good night's sleep before. You're done out here, Twisted. You're done out here. You've done yourself bad today. This super chat says, we'll come back to that one in a minute. It's kind of off this topic slightly. Lee, is Doku better than Saka?
Better at what?
A better footballer, I suppose they're asking.
Better at running faster? Like, no. No. Simple answer.
He
may end up being better than Saka, but right now he's not. No. I don't know what you want me to say. He's not.
I know. Yeah, I just kind of like watching you when you're on an Arsenal side. It's kind of weird. I'm only joking.
Look at this chat lighting up. Doku's better. You lot have got so much recency bias. It's mad. You didn't even know who he was till Man City signed him. Let's just be real. Nobody watches that league. Like, they all pretend like they know every player. You don't. You didn't watch him. What, he got 4 assists at the weekend. Whoopee. Well done. And a goal. Whoopee. Does that make him a better player then of one game? It don't, does it?
Yeah. There we go. Some super chats here. Everyone's done all-nighters, gone to work and not worked. Ha ha ha. Priorities. Massive support, Terry, Lee, and the TFT community. Straight fact. I agree. And look, in some regards, sometimes you can get away with it. Listen, when I used to sell phones, me not turning up to work and putting in effort only really hurt phones for you because customers still got served by somebody else. I wasn't pushing as hard. When you're earning what a football player earns and the fans are pumping the amount of money they are into it and they want to be entertained and they want to see the energy and the effort, I think there's a different reaction to it. If you're in the service, if I put my child into childcare, but the lady that's looking after my child had a skinful the night before and didn't go to bed and she's not looking after my child properly, then there's a problem. There are certain industries where I do expect you to be in bed at the right time, not hungover in the morning and be 100% at work because it's important for you to be. That doesn't make it a dictatorship. That just makes it professional. This here says, question for the realist G. Lee. Would you take Xhaka back in January?
Yeah, he can walk the dog. Yeah, he can walk the dog. No, not for me. Not for me. Never good enough to play for Arsenal, despite having a half-decent season last season.
Mm-hmm. Kevin Lee here says, do you think there's a conflict of interest with PGMOL officials working in the Saudi Pro League?
Nope. Why can't they work there? Does anyone care if any of these refs go and work in Greece? When Nottingham Forest owner's Greek. Nobody would care, would they?
Carl here says City have never dropped points because of VAR. I don't think that's true. That can't be true.
Well, what about Rashford's goal last season against them?
There we go.
When he was way offside and interfering with play and all of that. Do you remember when the goalkeeper came out?
Yeah, I remember. I watched it. Hi, Lee and Terry. Love you both. Always quality content. Keep it up. I agree with Lee. His high standards. Arteta out.
Tell him, bro. Tell him.
And I wanted to kind of go on to that. You guys today, there's a lot to unpack with Arsenal this week. But Gary Neville was called Arteta and Arsenal dangerous for the statement about VAR after that debacle of a goal you conceded against Newcastle. Do you think that's fair of Gary Neville to say that it's wrong for managers and clubs to call out the referees and do what Arsenal have done this weekend in terms of calling out multiple incorrect decisions in recent times against you?
Just do it behind the scenes. There's no need for it. But honestly, I don't get it, Terry. Maybe he should have a look at his own performance in that game. Yeah, because he made more mistakes than they did. Like, I don't get it. The guy's waffling. Honestly, he's a waffler. Yeah, and what he's done is he's very good at diverting it away from his performance and the team performance. Yeah, people say, oh, that's good management. Well, it ain't, is it? Yeah, we threw a cup in the bin on Wednesday and nobody held him accountable for that. Oh, it don't matter. It's the Mickey Mouse Cup. Yeah, same people absolutely have pants around their ankles every time we win a Community Shield. So is the Community Shield better than the Mickey Mouse Cup then? Like, you're telling me we can't play an extra 3 games in the next 3 months between now and February when the final is? Like, we can't play that extra 3 games. Well, on that basis alone, the squad ain't big enough then, is it? But everyone was jumping around saying 8 out of 10 transfer window. 9 out of 10 transfer window. So that's the first thing. Now he's going on about VAR. Well, I don't think the ball was out anyway. And even if the ball did go out, why were 3 of our players standing there watching it? Jorginho, Ben White, and Saliba didn't even bother tracking Gordon into the corner. So why were they just standing there admiring it? We had 7 players in the box, and they had 3. Yeah, why is our goalkeeper running around? That was like a Benny Hill sketch. Like, put Benny Hill music over that, or clown music. Yeah, because he was just running around in a circle. Why didn't you just come and catch it? Why didn't you go and press the crosser? Yeah, but I'm not being funny. So people are using that as an excuse as to why we lost the game. Yeah, we had 98 minutes. 98 minutes. And we had 1 shot on target. We wouldn't have won the game anyway, even if that gets chalked out. Yeah, and it's an easy thing because Arsenal fans are so weak and spineless at times, yeah, and so fragile that they have to blame everybody else apart from the actual manager in the club, yeah, or the players. Why have we created 1 shot on target in that game? And in our last 2 games, by the way, we've had 4 in total. Yeah, there's obviously a creativity problem. Luton have created more big chances in the Premier League than us this season. Luton and Palace. Yeah, embarrassing. I said this to you backstage before we started. In the last 20 Premier League games, Man United have got more points than Arsenal. In the last 20 games, 11 this season and the end not last season, 9 last season. You've got 1 point more than us. There's obviously a problem here, isn't there? Yeah, not only that, you've got 5 players from last season that are way underperforming. Yeah, Declan Rice has been really good since he's got here. But at the same time, he looks so much better than he probably is being because the rest of them are in crap. And let's just be real with it. Yeah, so he's running around and he's, oh, yeah, I've got the passion and all of that. Listen, he has been very good. But he looks better than he has been because the rest are literally on the floor. Jorginho, why are you here? Havertz, why are you here? He played 100 minutes on Wednesday and he played 98 on Saturday. Why? Yeah, Bukayo Saka, where are you? Hello, has anyone seen you? Yeah, Gabriel Martinelli had our only shot on target. Yeah, and literally my daughter could have hit the ball harder. Yeah, it's embarrassing, mate. Yeah, you got, what's his name? Ben White. Yeah, Ben White. He must have watched my video. Must have watched my last fan cam on Wednesday. Yeah, because all of a sudden he's dyed his hair black again. Yeah, like, he must have watched it. Yeah, didn't help his performance though, did it? He was getting cooked at times. Yeah, we were so far away from last season. It's crazy. Yeah, and people say, oh, but why are you moaning? You're only 3 points off the top. These same people that are saying, why are you moaning? You're only 3. Oh, we've only lost 1 game. These were the same people telling me for 10 months last season, but just be happy with top. Be happy for what? 31 years, no League Cup. Oh, but it's the shit cup. Why are you all watching it then? Yeah, why are you all fighting for tickets to get to the ground then? If it's the crap cup, why are you even bothering to stream the game on your channels and stuff like this? No. If you don't care about that cup, why are you giving it any time at all? Right? 31 years we ain't won that cup. Yeah, 30 years without a cup in Europe. 20 years without a title. And soon to be 4 full years without an FA Cup, because we ain't going to win that either. But I'm supposed to be happy. Just be happy. Be happy at what? We're playing crap football. We don't ever look like scoring any goals. Yeah, and then we go and blitz PSV and Bournemouth. Oh, and Sheffield United. Woohoo. Oh, Eddie is back. He can kick on now. The only thing that's kicking on is his bank balance. And the manager's got the audacity to come out after that game and go, is embarrassing. Embarrassing. No, what's embarrassing is you, my friend, picking that starting 11. What's embarrassing is you paying Reece Nelson $100,000 a week. Yeah, paying Eddie $100,000 a week. Yeah, constantly playing Kai Havertz for 98 minutes a game. Yeah, constantly, just no tactics whatsoever, no game plans and patterns of play. I'm sick and tired of it. Yeah, and all I keep getting told, just be happy. Be happy for what? Be happy for what? Yeah, just stop moaning. Be happy. Be happy. I'll be happy when we win a title. Until then, no. Yeah, because I ain't like you lot that all want to sit there and dress up mediocrity. Yeah, like I just said, 31 years no League Cup, 30 without a European trophy, 20 without a title, and 4 without an FA Cup. but we're all supposed to be happy. Happy at what? Like literally, Luton have created more big chances in the league this season than us. Yeah, we've got a captain who had an anomaly season last season. Got a new pay rise off of the back of it. Ain't seen him since. Yeah, Thomas Partey, where are you? What's going on here? He's played 15 minutes in the last 11 games, which, by the way, helped us beat Man City. We haven't seen him at all. Where is he? Yeah, it's pathetic. Our bench is a joke. Like, honestly, mate. Yeah, anyone who thinks that we're going to win that title, not happening. Yeah, I'm telling you right now, 5:34 Spanish time, 7th of November on a Tuesday, we ain't winning nothing this season. We will win nothing. Then what? What, we give him another load of dough and go again? Make it 5 full seasons, then 6? Oh, but you got us back in the Champions League. Just be proud. Be happy. Yeah, win the Dogs a year older. But Kai Havertz will be in his 2nd year. He might do better. Like, get in the bin, man. This is a shit show, Terry. I can't lie. Yeah, but the way they've PR'd this guy, yeah, they will not sack him. Yeah, the only way he gets sacked is if the performances dip even further and we start losing and losing and losing. Because then the fans will get on his case and he'll be gone. Yeah, because the majority of fans online, yeah, all in love with him. They ain't got nothing bad to say about him. Oh, it's just VAR. It's VAR. Yeah, how about stop relying on VAR to get us a result? We know VAR's no good. I didn't want it. I still don't want it. I don't sit and cry about it every week. Happens to every team. So how about not put a game in VAR's hands? How about that?
I understand that. I think when it comes to VAR, I think 2 things can be true at once. And we did it on the match reaction to the Arsenal game. I spent time talking about the decision, but I've got a personal crusade this year where I'm calling out VAR. And I was calling out VAR the day that you beat Man City.
Sorry, mate. 2 seconds. I've got an idiot parcel driver who can't find my gap again. Yeah, give me 2 minutes, mate. Yeah.
Go on, mate. I'll talk to the audience. Let's go to some of these super. We'll come to some of these super chats in a minute. They're not starring for some reason. They're meant to do it automatically, but they are not. Last season was was what? A marriage? Or maybe a marriage? What do you mean by that? Maybe you wrote it wrong. We'll come back and go to some of your comments. And a lot of them are asking Lee questions, so I can't really answer what's being said there. But look, I look at these situations from this angle around you can do both at the same time. I think you can criticize especially the attacking element of Arsenal's performance on Saturday wasn't good enough. Yes, Newcastle defended well. Yes, Newcastle did some good things, but that can be criticized. I don't think you should, and this is where I've changed. I used to do this even up until about a year or so ago. I'd say, yeah, you should have won the game anyway. If you performed better, VAR wouldn't have mattered. But actually, that doesn't help. That hasn't helped create, that approach hasn't helped create more consistency with their officiating. It's made it worse. So I think you can call the 2 things out. And where I think I disagree with Lee is I would say you do the calling out of the referees publicly. You do the dressing down of your players privately. You shouldn't be outing your players in public. But what you can do is create deflection tactics that take the eyes away from your performances, that take the public pressure away from your performances and focus on external factors. And, we've seen a lot of the great managers do that. So I understand where he's coming from. So I'm just reading. I don't even know what that word means. Why can't my brain read that word? Right. What does it mean? An image produced by very hot air. How do you even say it? Do you know, like, is it mirage? Is that what it is? Is that mirage? Optical, right, okay, there we go. Again, dyslexic. I've actually never seen that word written down in my life. There we go, got it now. Got it. Last season was a mirage. Get it now. Sorry, really dumb. But I'm dyslexic, so certain words just don't compute in my head. You're all saying, Terry, it's this word. I don't know. That don't help me. When you're dyslexic, sometimes you see a word and it just don't compute in your head. But now it's happened this way. I won't forget it now. Now that I've embarrassed myself by exposing my dyslexia to the world again. But yeah, look, I understand where Lee's coming from, calling out the performance, and I think there's elements that he should be calling out. I just don't think that you should ignore the VAR elements as well. I think they can both be right at the same time, if that makes sense. Mark Goldbridge in the chat, is he? Well, the real Mark Goldbridge, or is it a fake one? Because people have a lot of burner accounts.
Sorry,
but yeah,
mate, back.
Yeah, as I was basically saying, mate, I get where you're coming from. I think there's things to criticize. We did all the match reaction, but I do think there's I've got a personal crusade this year of challenging VR and its decisions, and I won't personally ignore them when they're wrong. And I did feel that, I don't know if the ball went out or not. My view was Man United wasn't conclusive, and you gave it as out, so the camera angles look pretty much the same as you should. I thought it was a foul on Gabriel. It definitely hit Joe Linton's arm, and then it hits his arm, hits his leg, and then goes to Gordon, who would have been offside. So, in terms of the goal shouldn't have stood. Which means
I agree with you in that sense. Yeah, the goal shouldn't have stood, but I don't think the ball went out. Yeah, and if it's not conclusive, which it wasn't, which winds me up anyway, why have they not got a camera bang in line with that goal, like in line with the post at either side, so you can see if the ball goes out? Yeah, why don't they have overhead technology? Yeah, they have a drone or a camera flying on a string around the stadium above the players. Why don't they put a VAR on that? Like a VAR camera on that?
Yeah, no, they absolutely 110% should.
I think it looked, to me, I think it was in, right? But like I said, that's irrelevant. It's irrelevant because for me, if it's in or out, why have 3 of our players stopped? That's more of a problem for me than that being in or out. Why are they all ball watching? Why are they all stand there having a mother's meeting in the penalty box? Yeah, Jorginho, experienced player, played in Champions League final, played for Chelsea, played in a Euros final. He's played for Chelsea in some big games. So for me, I'm like, why are you not telling Ben White to go and press that guy, Gordon? Why is Saliba just standing, looking around like, well, I'm lost? Yeah, it was embarrassing.
Mate,
sorry, go on, mate. When that ball comes in, he's got a free cross. The goalkeeper, I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, and I want to back this goalkeeper. I really do, because I think his level's better than Ramsdale. But he just hasn't shown me anything yet. There, he looks out of his depth. Maybe the pressure's killing him. I don't know. Because he's Arteta's man. I think that's been proven. And he's come in to a football club that has to win something, or for me, they have to win something. Most of our fans probably disagree, but I think Arteta does want to win. I'm being serious. Most of our fans are just happy with Champions League, Terry. I'll tell you this every week, right? But for me, if the goalkeeper's in that position, you're expecting to come out and claim the ball. We'll come out and claim it then. Yeah, instead he don't. He just runs round in a circle. Gabriel, I think the reason that was not given, and I do think that's a foul. Right, I think that's the only one. I don't think that the offside, I'm not sure. Whether it went out, I'm not sure. But I would say that is a foul. But again, 10 minutes before that, we've seen Callum Wilson put Gabriel on his backside by barely touching him. Yeah, put his hand around his throat and just tapped him, and he's rolling around holding his face. Did that go against him? Because we've seen Gabriel do this in every game, mate.
Yeah, no,
he gets touched, he's rolling around theatrically. So for me, I can understand why they gave it, but it shouldn't have been given.
No, I get you.
But again, one more thing. Sorry, I know you want to go. One more thing, right? The one thing I was to say, the last thing I'll say on this, we should not be relying on VAR to get us through a game. When you're trying to go for a title, we know VAR is going to mess it up week in, week out, not just for my club, but for your club and every other club. We know this, so don't put the game in their hands. Yeah, and last season, we barely did that. Like last season, we had a couple ones here and there, but we've also had some go for us as well, Terry. I think people forget this. You know, Crystal Palace last season, handball, first game of the season, Gabriel again. Yeah, didn't get given. Liverpool, handball, Gabriel again, didn't get given. Yeah, we've had a few go for us.
Well, that's why I'm going to say this. Firstly, by the way, that it's, I don't know if it's Mark controlling it, but that's football's real account. You can't on YouTube, you can't fake the verification tick. So that is him. I think that you're right to criticize elements of your team on Saturday, and I don't live in this polarized world where you can't criticize elements of the performance. I also don't live in this world where you should ignore poor refereeing decisions because of the way you performed. Equally, where you're also spot on is, this isn't, like I said to you earlier, I don't believe there's a conspiracy against Arsenal. I don't believe there's a conspiracy against Man United. I don't believe there is a conspiracy against any particular team. there is just incompetence and inconsistencies. But where I think this is becoming interesting is the way the Gary Nevilles, the Jamie Carragher's, etc. are talking about. And Jamie Carragher, whether he meant to express it in this way or not, did. He said, I love what Arteta said after the game, blah, 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 blah. I didn't agree with him, though, but it made great television. And that's almost where I feel like they're coming from. Certain clubs get punished by VAR. For instance, when Wolves didn't get the penalty against us
this season.
Yeah, they've been done loads of times. But when Man United got the decision in their favour against Wolves, all these same journalists, all these same media outlets are now saying, don't attack refs. We're out there full force. This is a disgrace. Something needs to happen. Arsenal come out full force saying we've been robbed of a decision which could cost us. And now suddenly the mainstream media's view is stop moaning about it. We should be more supportive of referees as an example. And I do believe the conspiracy theory I've got, if you want to call it that, isn't about Arsenal United and ruining them. It's about how the media spins it, particular clubs, to create more drama. Does that make sense? Because what will happen
in a nutshell, Terry. Look,
I hear you. And that's the element of this that's frustrating me is hearing
what they do. Is they go
professionals not tell the truth.
Terry, they do it every week. The top four race is heating up. There is no top four race. You either win the league or you ain't won anything. Like, it's not a race to get into another competition that you're not going to take seriously. Like, but they love the drama, and football fans have been sucked down this road and pigeonholed into that to believe that fourth is something special and should be celebrated. For me, it ain't. I'm old, Terry. I'm an old man. I grew up on you either win the league to qualify for European Cup or you ain't in it. Yeah, and I know probably people say you're a grumpy bastard and all of that, which is cool. Maybe I am, especially when it comes to my football club, because I've seen it systematically destroyed in front of me. Yeah, but when it comes to Sky, for example, they will highlight anything that is going to, so anything that's going to damage their product by having to go at the referees constantly, week in, week out, week in, week out. That could damage their product. Yeah, that could damage their product. Yeah, look at when the Super League was being touted to be a thing. Yeah, all of a sudden, they've unlocked it in my region. All of a sudden in Spain, I can watch Sky Sports on YouTube. Yeah, I can't watch any of the interviews on Sky Sports from the weekend. I can't see any of the footage for the goals. Yeah, obviously I can watch them. I can watch the zone to get the highlights. I can watch the games anyway. But the point is, I can't watch any of their footage unless somebody else has clipped it up somewhere and put it out there. Right, so I only see barely 10% of what they're saying on Sky Sports, which is a good thing because they don't have it out here. Right, but my point is, anything that will damage their reputation as a company or their brand, right? Because they are the market leader, should you say? They were the first ones to start doing it on a grand scale. Yeah, they were the ones to get Andy Graham, Richard Keys, the founders, and all of this, and building it up, and it was great back then. But they've took it to an extreme where now I think that they're just milking it. Like absolutely milking it. Look at the amount of times. I didn't even know this, Terry, right? Sorry to cut you off there. One more thing and I'll shut up.
That's right.
I didn't even know until day before yesterday, I think it was. No, it was yesterday. When I dropped my mates back to the airport yesterday, and they're both Arsenal. One of them's given me a season ticket back at the end of the season after 51 years. He's had enough. Yeah, he's had enough. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of older, they've had enough. But anyway, the point I want to get to. I said, how comes we always get West Ham on Boxing Day? Yeah, I said, it seems like we get West Ham on Boxing Day. He said, no, the game's been changed. We ain't got a Boxing Day game now. So what are you talking about? I said, no, we're playing on the 28th now. I said, really? He goes, yeah. I said, well, how are we playing Fulham 2 days later? He goes, no, it's on New Year's Eve now. And that is for TV. Yeah, that is for TV. They control everything, Sky Sports. Yeah, BT to a lesser degree, but Sky get the majority of the games. Sky run the narrative. Yeah, and anyone who goes against the narrative, see you later.
So I totally agree that they are adding dramatization to this. What's interesting about it is this: that when I feel the Premier League was at its most best, where we had the majority, well, not the majority of best teams, but when we had the strongest top four we've ever had, was that kind of 03-04 period to about 2012, 2013. The reason I say that is because every single season, our top four was predominantly Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea. And most of those seasons, all of us had a chance of winning that Champions League. Does that make sense? You guys got to finals and semis. I know you started to drift towards the end of that period, but we were all in that period good enough to win it. And the Premier League and the Sky Sports were flourishing. We all now, listen, I want to be in the Champions League and I want to believe that I can win it. But where I agree with you is this notion of some teams get into the Champions League and you get this kind of hyping up of, or maybe Man United can win it. We know we ain't winning the Champions League. In our heart of hearts, we know we're not doing it. So I don't want to hear, I'd rather hear the professional pundits play it down. What we're seeing with Spurs, like we see people, I saw someone on Sky today saying they're definitely in the title race. Why can't they win it? And everyone's like, yeah, they can. I'm thinking, you're gaslighting Spurs fans into believing they're better than they are right now. And I think for me, but last year when you guys were looking really good, even when you were believing, Lee, you were like, I think we might do it.
After we beat Man United, I thought we'd win the league.
I know, exactly. But what they did to Arsenal last year was the reverse, kept them playing it down. And it's all for what I call the Kardashian effect. It's to create additional drama, talking points, debates, which I understand that from fans doing it with each other. But getting it from your professional pundits and then being disingenuous with it, there's something about it that don't feel
because
right.
What they're doing is they're gaslighting, like you said, they're gaslighting Tottenham fans into believing that they are in a title race. Let's just be real with it. They're not. Yeah, they've had a great start to the season. They've got some fantastic players, some of which I wanted at Arsenal. Madison, Bissouma. Yeah, Van der Ven looks a top player. The goalkeeper made a great save. Great save again last night and has looked brilliant this season. Yeah, the left back who got sent off, he's been brilliant so far until that red card. Yeah, they've got some very, very good players there. Son, we obviously know, can score goals. And Kulusevski fell off a little bit last season, but he looks back to what he was at the start of it. So you know they've got a decent core of players there. But when you look at their bench, they're bringing on Højbjerg and Eric Dyer, who I thought played pretty well last night when they came on. And the drop-off is crazy, Terry. Yeah. In what way, shape or form does anyone at Sky Sports or any other media out there think that team is going to surpass Manchester City? Forget Arsenal, forget Liverpool, forget Man United, forget Chelsea, Newcastle maybe you could put in there, Villa perhaps, whatever. What makes them think that they're going to overtake Man City? Because what they're doing is they're gassing them up so high that they all start believing, so that when it all does unravel, Sky, oh, wow, what a mad capitulation that was, and make a whole new load of drama out of it at the back end. Yeah, and that is exactly what they do. I see through what they do all the time. Yeah, and I'm so lucky they ain't got Sky over it. Yeah, they have their own outlets over it. They have DAZN, they have Movistar Plus and stuff, like that, proper channels.
Mate,
they don't have all of this rubbish. They still have their panelists.
Yeah.
But the panelists on DAZN, the Spanish football, especially, like I'll give an example. For English football games over here, we get every game. Every single game as part of my package, which is $24.99 a month. Get every single Premier League game. I get most of the League Cup games, get some FA Cup games, and I get all the Spanish League, and I get Italian League, Portuguese, a few other leagues there. On the English games, they just cut straight to adverts at half time for 15 minutes. No pundits. As soon as the game's done, you see the handshakes at the end, and they cut the footage. Don't need all the crap. When it comes to their Spanish games, the La Liga games, they'll have a big build-up, but they'll have, like, say Real Madrid are playing, they'll have Guti on the side of the pitch. Yeah, it's that, and I can understand a little bit, or quite a bit of Spanish. He's standing there saying, yeah, Real Madrid, they really need to win this game, otherwise it ain't acceptable, drawing with Vallecano and blah, blah, blah. You don't see him sitting there going, right, yeah, this is it. They're going to go out and wallop them 6-0, I think, blah, blah, blah.
No,
yeah,
I hear you. It's become sanitized. We've got some super chats to do here. Viewers, keep hitting the like button for us. Make sure you are subscribing to the Football Terrace as well. Lee, you don't rate your manager but still expect to win games. That's a contradiction.
No, it ain't. How's that a contradiction? We're Arsenal Football Club, the third biggest club in the country. We should be winning football matches. Like I've just said about Sky and DAZN. Yeah. We moved. Here we go. League on a bingo. Have a shot. Yeah, we moved stadium to compete with Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. If Bayern Munich had lost at the weekend to Dortmund, Tuchel would be unemployed. Yeah, their fans want him out. Real Madrid drew at the weekend at home to Rayo Vallecano. Their fans are going crazy. Right? So, if we've moved to be on that level, why can't I expect to win football matches? Regardless of who the manager is, win.
There we go. Ricky here says, I think Arteta's comments was a deflection, but Gary and Carragher's comments have got me supporting the club and manager. Us versus them, incompetence cannot be protected, is what Ricky Proctor says here.
Listen, Arteta can say what he wants, yeah, but let's just have it right here. Arteta after Klopp, yeah, so I see something earlier on the 6th of October, his words were, well, they're going to make mistakes and all of that.
Yep.
Like, you know, it's a contradiction in itself. And fair play, we know they all lie and contradict themselves, we know that. But the way he came out with all that venom and all that after that game, yeah, I watched that game. I don't know if you watched the game, Terry. I'm assuming you did. You did a reaction afterwards, I take it, yeah? But he was stood on that touchline, lost, looking around like this. It was like, remember when Unai Emery was scratching his beard, like you are now?
Yeah, I'm lost.
You got a better beard than me, so it took me about a week just to go this. But he was standing there scratching his beard like that, looking. And I said to the lads, I was like, he looks lost. He's like, what do I do? Yeah, so I think that he knows with the pressure he's put on himself by saying he was going to quit and that he's stayed and he thinks he is the guy. Yeah, I think he's realizing, oh, actually, I'm not the guy here. Yeah, and I think a lot of them players are looking at him now in their 4th year with him, looking at him, maybe thinking, why you changed the tactics? But they can't go against him because they've seen Aubameyang, Tierney, and other players get kicked out. So it's going to come down real quick.
This is Ange got praised for not complaining, but he got carded. True. Also, I've seen the amount of people that have been Sherlock Holmes today finding comments from, he kind of came out and said, I just got brought up to not challenge managers.
Oh, yeah, so many Celtic quote.
Celtic, but even one from a few weeks ago where he said, I think when they got the handball against you, saying, I don't understand handball. I think I'm going to have to buy defenders with no arms and things like this. Like, at the end of the day, like he's moaned before. It's all, he's a clever guy. Giving Jorginho the armband is a sackable offence. That's a big claim. I'm sure Lee agrees.
When I see it, I said that's a sackable offence right there.
This is from D-Boy. He says, Lee, what do you think of Arteta saying that we need to be more patient with refs and understands their jobs have a lot of pressure when Liverpool had their goal ruled out for offside against Spurs to what he is saying now?
I prefer not to speak. Big up D-Boy. I prefer to wait. It is what it is, isn't it? No, at the end of the day, I didn't want the guy here. Yeah, he's very good at manipulating a situation, right? And he's a very good. I think he's very arrogant. People say I'm arrogant. Yeah, sometimes when you're a bit blunt, yeah, like, and I am blunt, it comes across arrogant sometimes, and he's definitely that. I do think he cares though. I think he wants to win. I just don't think he. I think he knows that he ain't the guy. Yeah, and he's overcomplicating anything and everything, overthinking everything. Just play the football we played last season. Yeah, play the football we played last season. Get Ben White overlapping Saka so he's not isolated. Yeah, if you want to get Zinchenko inverted, cool. Just play him in midfield. How about that? Yeah, and put Tommy Asu at left back. No, mate, it's true.
No, mate, I do.
Why don't you set it up, Georgie? Right, our best three in midfield, right? It's Thomas Partey, Declan Rice, and Martin Odegaard. I think we've seen it for 15 minutes when we played in the last 15 against City. We won the game. Yeah, put Rice. If Thomas Partey's injured, cool. But then put Zinchenko and Rice together. Yeah, Zinchenko we know can pass. We know he can unlock doors. Yeah, he just can't defend.
I also listen. I'd have played Zinchenko as your 10 with Odegaard out. Like, I think you do a better job than. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you on that. I think that's spot on. This here says a big up, bros. Tuesday straight facts just hits different. Lee Gunner is a true gooner. Terry is a nice sidekick. Ha ha. Joke. Dope content. Well, it is. It's me interviewing Lee, so I am the sidekick.
Big up, bro. Some of these comments are quite nice. Where's the hate ones? Get the hate ones when it's the Arsenal segment. Tell.
Hybrid Ultra says both things are true. Performance wasn't good enough. We were also robbed, of that goal. What's more interesting is the media's reaction. Mikel Arteta held back that rant for a while. What I do agree with it is
go on, mate. Go on,
mate. You go. You're gone. Your show.
I was going to say, I think he has been holding that in for a while, right? But at the same time, right, I think there's a lot more than just that goal, and maybe a couple of others, 2 or 3 others, maybe, right? Because I remember when he started moaning that we need to protect Bukayo Saka for being kicked all the time. Do you remember a couple of months back? I think maybe back in the last season, early this season, whenever it was. Yeah. But then he don't protect Bukayo Saka because he plays him every week for 90 minutes most weeks. So it's like, I think all of these things, plus the fact we're not playing well, we battered Newcastle last season. If you go through this, Terry, last season we beat Man United at the Emirates. We beat him again this season, right? We beat Chelsea last season away. We drew this year. We beat Tottenham at home. We drew this year. We beat Newcastle away last year. We lost this year. Yeah, all of the games that we won pretty much last year, we're miles off on them games.
You nearly got beat by us. If it weren't for that pesky VAR, that would have been fun.
We draw with you this year.
No, you beat us 3-1 in the end.
Oh, no, we did beat you in the end. Yeah, sorry.
And then late one.
You got slid Johnny Evans back to Leicester.
Am I late? Have you spoke about Rashford, Mark Goldbridge beef? Yeah, we chat about it earlier. You can watch it on the replay. And I mean, go back and watch it. But yeah, Rashford's massively overreacting and should get back to scoring goals as far as Lee and I are concerned. The problem is with the clear and obvious error. It's either wrong or not. Accepting error doesn't make the game better. Just so ref has power. Yeah, the clear and obvious bit is crazy because no one's ever understood exactly what that means. It's such a vague.
Yeah. Look at Caicedo last night, not the Caicedo goal. We said that you could put a Rizzler paper in between them two, like with Jackson being offside. That ain't clear and obvious. And it used to be an advantage to the attacker. And
I guarantee if the lino doesn't put his flag up for that, they check every goal for offside. They'd have said he's in an offside position, and then it would have become one of those subjective offsides, and they would have looked at it and gone, the goalie and the player are 18 yards apart. He's not blocking him. So this is the point. If VAR, I don't think VAR gives it if the linesman doesn't. That means I just want the right decision to be given every time. I don't care about.
I just hold up one other game as well this weekend, that Man United game, yeah. Right? I don't think the whole time VAR has been a thing, and we was watching it in a pub, yeah, and it was on mute, right? But when they checked that offside for your goal, why did they make the ref do an on-field review for an offside? It's either offside or it ain't. I don't.
They've done a few of them. That there is subjectivity within offside sometimes. If the player is deemed to, because Harry Maguire attempting to play the ball makes him offside, but there's a contradiction within that because the law also states if a defender makes a clear attempt to play the ball, the player that's in an offside position is then onside. The defender made the same attempt to swing his foot the ball as so you could then argue the subjectivity on subjectivity. But for the first time ever in English football, the VAR reported into the commentators, and this wasn't just the English ones because it went global. They called it a subjective offside, and that phrase has never been used. And it made me laugh. I was like, we're even getting done by sort of an oxymoronic phrase. It was crazy. But
scrap it. And the reason this whole VAR thing came in is because everyone was crying about referees. Anyone who was crying about referee decisions every week, you've only got yourself.
Maybe that's a conspiracy. Maybe like if we make it really shit, you worked in a lot of sales places. Do you ever work in a sales place where they brought in a new process and it was more work and no one liked it, so everyone did a shit job, so they got rid of the new process?
It's like when my mum says to me, "Make us a cup of tea." Yeah,
make it weak and crap. Yeah, give me self. No, I hear you. I tried doing that with my wife. She left. No, she didn't. Tired of fellow Gooners blaming VAR. We are not good enough. Too many Gooners embarrass us all. Mikel said something wrong. PGMOL, VAR are jokes. If we get Tony in January, we are winning the Premier League or Champions League. Big statement there. I like the confidence though. Lee, how are you going to say you would take Maddison over Odegaard, considering Odegaard has had pretty much 2 seasons and Maddison has had more in injuries in 1 season than he has done amazing and is still has more potential?
Well, Odegaard's in his 10th season as a professional footballer. Yeah, and he'll never score 15 goals again in the season, that's for sure. Yeah, and if you want to go down the stats route, I don't know if you're a statistician and mathematician, sits with pie charts and spreadsheets on the match day. I'm not sure, but James Maddison has been doing it in the Premier League for how many years? Yeah, the guy's GA last season in a struggling Leicester team was 3 less than Martin Odegaard in an all singing, all dancing Arsenal team. Yeah, James Maddison's a miles better footballer than him. Yeah, Maddison might not look as good on the eye. Yeah, might not have some of the intricate passes that Odegaard has. Yeah, but I'll tell you something, I know which one I'd want in my team, and it ain't Odegaard. Yeah, when the pressure's on, that guy melts. Yeah, disappears, folds, flops. Yeah, fair enough. James Maddison's had a few injuries, and what? Everyone gets injured.
There we go.
Build a squad that is capable of rotation, so you don't have to have so many injuries.
George here says the whole ref/VAR process is too convoluted. How did we get there? Surely pre-VAR introductions came up with something better. Do you know what's so funny? I think we've got here since Howard Webb came in December. I was quite a big fan of it until nearly a year ago. I thought it overturned. I don't know how to explain this. The example I would give is Man United away at Newcastle a few seasons back. It looked like the Newcastle player cleared the ball. When you rewatched it, he didn't, and he studied Rashford on the shins right on the edge of the box, and we got the penalty. And I remember when that happened, and I remember my own team's a bit more than rivals, but I remember the handball against Brighton after the whistle, and we got the penalty and won. And I thought to myself, I remember tweeting these things, VAR is saving football, because without VAR, that would have been one of those contentious afternoons where you went, hang on, we got blatant penalties that could have won us games, and they weren't awarded. And they started doing it. And then this weird thing started happening of, well, we don't want to re-referee games. Suddenly the threshold for the turnovers got higher. And suddenly I think for the last 18 months, all we're seeing is clear and obvious mistakes not be addressed so regularly. And then on top of that, every now and then they give Højlund pulling on Rodri. And then they won't give that foul now for another 2 months. It's just crazy.
There's no consistency at all. But that comes back to my point earlier. There's no consistency at all. Yeah. So stop relying on VAR and refs to get you out of jail. How about get your players and your team doing better?
I hear you on that.
One thing as well that winds me up about this VAR, like when them not offsides, the penalty decisions and stuff like that, they get trotting over to the thing, and red card decisions, they go trotting over. You know it's going to come. You know they're going to give the decision. So why waste another 2 minutes? Why don't they just say the guy's here?
Yeah, give it. Yeah.
Send him off. It's 100%. You've got 3 or 4 people looking at the screens. Yeah, we're all in. We've done a show of hands. It's a majority decision. We think that's a red. Save another 2 minutes. Yeah, but another thing I will say, like, we're all very impatient as football fans. Oh, why is it taking so long? Why is it taking so long? Yeah, I think if they were to get there, and I think they got pretty much mostly all of the decisions right yesterday. I can see why they didn't send Romero off for the first one. I can see why Doku didn't get sent off. But again, you might think they're both straight reds. Other people, that's subjective, yeah. Right. Yeah. But I think personally they got every decision spot on yesterday. But again, yeah, I don't mind 21 minutes being added on if they get every decision right.
No, I agree with you.
If they're adding 21 minutes on and half of them were wrong.
The time is not an issue. And I don't even think it's about decisions being wrong in the moment subjectively. It's about, okay, now we've seen that 2-footed tackle from Udogie get a yellow when he hasn't made full contact. That means every other 2-footed tackle that doesn't make full contact with a player must be a yellow. Where the controversy comes in is in 3 weeks, when Casemiro does the identical thing, he gets a red. That's what I think fans are more angry about. It's the inconsistency, because as we all know, subjectivity becomes objectivity when you have data and facts. Once you've seen enough of a certain foul that's a yellow or enough of a certain foul that's a red, it isn't subjective anymore. It's, well, we've given all the other ones like that have been reds. This one must therefore be a red. That should make the decision-making process faster. Romero's is a prime example. Every tackle like Romero's, where you touch the ball first, follow through and hit the shin, 99.9% of them, 99% of them are giving us reds. So when they're not giving us reds, they're the ones you should criticize. There's a few more super chats here. This one here says, Terry, when RB Leipzig scored a foul header against City last year, you said City fans should not be making excuses about the foul, but winning the game. You're absolutely right. I said that. And as I addressed a few short weeks ago, having done shows and being challenged by my guests and by people in the comments section, my mind has very much been changed. And as I've said, I'm on a conquest now to try and get more consistency. So I'm not just talking about decisions that I think change games. I'm talking about decisions even when teams win. If Man United don't get a clear-cut penalty at the weekend and we beat Luton for 6-0, I'm still going to talk about it. I'm still going to bring it up. So for me, it's about... that would be a bigger shock. Yeah, so I get where you're coming from. And an element of that still remains true, but my mind has changed around this scenario, and my kind of quest on it is very different. Apart from the Luton game, Liverpool's defence doesn't look like a title-winning defence. They've been a bit top-heavy, in my opinion. I mean, the Luton ripping them apart on a counter. They don't look like title winners right now. Terry's always got an answer. Well, that's because someone that can always answer without an action. And by the way, I don't go, you're salty or you're waffling or shut up. The reason I can articulate an answer is because I'm being honest. And I didn't go from saying, and I've openly admitted on many streams, I used to tell everyone to stop moaning about VAR and refs and go and win the game. And all I got told by the majority of viewers for years is you're wrong. And over time, I've listened and I've gone, actually, I think you're right. And I've seen it from a different angle. I can change my mind. I can admit to it. I don't find that a weak thing to do. It isn't like I just suddenly overnight change. What I don't do though is change when it's my club and then somebody else's.
So
that's
you're a flip flop. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
I have changed my mind. Yes, I'm a flip flop. Absolutely. I think flip flopping is what real men do. Gazida's mentioned competing with Bayern Munich almost 20 years ago to get fans excited. What has that got to do with Arteta and the present team? Stop living in the past.
I won't stop living in the past at all, mate. Yeah, you talk about stop living in the past. I guarantee you were sitting there jumping for joy that Spurs lost. Is yours gold? Is yours gold? See, it's not easy to do in Invincibles. I've seen that all over Twitter today. Yeah, living in the past. Living in the past. Yeah, what's that got to do with Arteta? Build a title-winning team. You've had 700 million nearly. Yeah, and yes, it was. Well, it wasn't 20 years ago. It was actually 11 years ago that Gazidis said that. It was 2012, Gazidis' words. It was nearly 20 years ago that Sir Peter Hillwood said it when we got the funding to move stadium. Yeah, so 10 years ago, 11 years ago, Ivan Gazidis was saying it. And the point is, we still ain't done it, have we? Yeah, so living in the past, well, hold up. Where would you say Arsenal are in terms of big club? Why do you class, I guarantee you say Arsenal are third biggest club in the country, bigger than Chelsea. So on that basis, why do you think they're bigger than Chelsea? Oh, it's based on trophies won, which is in the past. Mic drop.
There we go. I went to Tune. What's embarrassing is blaming VAR when the players are not playing to the whistle and allowing all the time and space in the Premier League. It's very, very, very fair challenge from A. Not an Arsenal fan, but I want to know when did Lee start thinking that Arteta is not good enough for Arsenal? I can answer this. He never has. Before he was even appointed.
I know the exact date. The stream's still on my channel. 25th of November 2019. 3 weeks before he got the job. I said I'm Arteta out before he's even got the job. Yeah, I'm pretty sure on that stream I said bring Emery back. And if it weren't that stream, it was one of them streams following after that.
You may have done. Chike here says it's like in the NFL, people complain about the ref, but you have 60 minutes to score a goal and you didn't. Also, looking good, Terry. What's your biggest weakness when it comes to dieting and food? Food. Food, nice food, good food.
Yeah, Terry's on that seafood diet. He sees food and eats it.
Mate, yeah, I struggle, man. I struggle. And as I'm getting older, it's harder and harder and harder not to. I went out to a restaurant last Thursday. I ordered a really nice chicken, a nice bit of healthy chicken and veg, and then they came over. Do you want a side of fries with that? Yeah. I was like, yeah, she said no.
You're one of them. Your metabolism must be slow mo. Mine's 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, as I'm getting older, mine's slowed down. It really has. Terry, thoughts on United staff change when Sir Jim comes in? Look, I've said before, I'm not a fan of what we're doing. But I will sit before. I'll have an opinion before, and then I'll assess what happens, and we'll look at the outcome. I hope it works. This is the thing with me. I don't hope it fails. I'm not praying it falls apart. I hope it works, and I hope that Sir Jim comes in and we get the changes we need. The football operation changes, and over time he owns the club. And look, what I will say is this about Sir Jim and his team: things might change. But I don't watch League R, so I'm not. But I looked at the league table the other day. They're fucking top. So just as he becomes the Man United part owner, imagine Nice win it this year. This is what's ironic, right?
No chance.
No, I don't think they will. But if Nice were top of their league when this process started, people would have thought better of Sir Jim than they did. But no, look, I said I remain pessimistic about it. But I will judge it as and when I see it. So up until we actually get proper answers, I don't know if that makes sense. His biggest weakness is believing his own hype. So, Mr. I don't believe my own hype. This is
Terry's getting destroyed today, and I'm getting all the love. What's going on?
This is the thing. It's. I don't. You know what it is, my friend. I don't believe in my own hype.
Hey, mate, I'm not overly arrogant. Before you can love others, too. How about that?
I do love myself. As in. You know, I've got a decent amount of self-esteem. And I know you love me, MJ, because again, you watch 3 videos a day, 7 days a week, and you have done for about 5 years now. So you add that together, you've probably spent 6 months of your entire life watching me. And so thank you, M. I love it. Enough scared.
Loyal fan.
Was this enough? Sacred cow treatment for Starboy. Arteta out. I can't pronounce that name. Ephemios, yeah. I'm not a good reader. I'm dyslexic. I'm very sorry. And I'll be honest with you, that reads Greek to me. And Greek.
I guess Greek Cypriot.
Greek Cypriot, Greek and Welsh, those two languages, they blow my dyslexia to pieces. They really, really do. Look, I want to thank.
Read that train station name in Notel in Wales, the one that's got about 4-letter L's in a row. It's about 900 letters long.
Genuinely, with my dyslexic brain, if I tried to pronounce that, I could have a stroke. It could do me.
You might actually pronounce it correctly.
Yeah. I read it as Leamington Spa. My brain, all the numbers get mixed, the letters get mixed up. Look, I want to thank everyone who's tuned in today, everyone who's super chatted, everybody who smashed the like button so far. We're live after the Champions League games tonight about 9:30 or so. So make sure you are tuning in.
Yes. And make sure you tune in to me and Rants in 45 minutes on my channel.
There we go. Lee Gunner Rants over there on Lee Gunner's channel. Make sure you're there. Until next time, people, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I've clicked the wrong button.